Welcome back to my channel, Madden Backlog series. Today's video is my 5-minute check summary of the release of Madden 24. Before we get too deep into this, please click the like icon, click the subscribe and notification icon so you will be informed when a new video has been posted. This summary video consists of my first-hand experience since Madden 24's release. Here's the thing. This has nothing to do with lab findings. I don't do labs. Labs are used to learn how to exploit the game engine. Let me repeat that again. Labs are used to learn how to exploit the game engine. Now, 99% of what you will see was captured simply from me going through plays to determine if I would use them in my custom playbooks that I always create. As you can see, there is a lot to show, so let's get started. Simply put, I like the new menu layout. Zone fake jets. I like that the running back doesn't run to the outside to the defensive end like it used to. Now I'll have to check further to see if this is the same when the shotgun is not an offset. Unless someone can explain, offsets are inside zone fake jets and the regular shotguns are outside zone fake jets. If that is the case, then they need to be labeled accordingly. So this light could change. Off the mark hikes to the QB in shotgun formation that are not draw plays. Now, I've never seen it before, and I wasn't even looking for it. Here's a catch. While it is positive, and I like it, there's a drawback, no pun intended, that you will see later in the not-so-positive displays. This brings us to the backlogged issues. Here you will see that the hike for a draw play while in the shotgun formation, the hike is almost always off the mark. On QB draw plays, the QB will turn and run laterally, unless you control him to run forward immediately. This makes it more like a QB blast as opposed to a QB draw. But here you will see not running him immediately causes you to lose control of the quarterback and unable to make anything positive of the play. If you try to throw a screen pass immediately after receiving the hike to a receiver, the QB will jump to the side as he throws the ball. To you, I'm sorry, I just don't see it. He's starting his slide, but then he doesn't kind of complete the slide. He looks like he's doing what appears to really be a dive more so than it. I have another video, but it didn't capture everything with the slide. Where actually most of the time what happens is that when you have a collision down here, it reverts into a dive play. And you'll see that many times if somebody contacts the dive. Now, it couldn't necessarily do that here, but it looks like it was trying to dive or go into that dimension. But in all reality, he should have just been knocked over, right? You think about it. You're running down here and you get hit like this. You would think he would be knocked to his left. But not in that fashion. The top part of his body, because it's so vulnerable, should have been knocked off and over to the left. But that's not what happened. He's still able to go through some of animation, whatever that might be. Like I said, it seemed like it was trying to revert into a dive, and that's basically it. So they still need to work on that. So-called run block and defensive AI improvements are fake. Fake just like those scripted field goal and punt blocks they put in the game a few versions back. Look, you can't have a 99 rated right guard pulling and ignoring a defender he could have easily blocked. I demonstrated this in EA's own video that they released to try to sell this concept to the gamers. All they do is dumb down the players, as you can see here, and then call it AI adjusted. Here you have a receiver who gets pressed and he starts to run some very weird route as if it's a double route. It's just a simple go route. But then when the defensive player presses him, he decides he's going to run back and then run back up the field. He's going to run back towards the line of scrimmage and then he's going to try to run up the field. Because of the way this game is made with regard to passing, which is wrong, no matter what its field since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means yes, in the future, they're still not going to get it right. This is the result of what happens. Now, you may say, well, that's not field sense. But part of that is. There's no excuse for him to have to, at this point, run out, only to run back to run his post. It makes no sense whatsoever. He's already out ahead. All he has to do at this point is just run straight up the field, not out like he's doing now, and then at the 15-yard line, he should be posting in. And in all reality, he probably would have caught the ball by now. This is the exact same play where he runs in at the line of scrimmage, and then runs straight up and then runs post in. The question here is, why wasn't this a sack or the ball stripped out? Considering this is supposed to be physics driven, why wasn't the ball stripped out or him sacked, and yet he's allowed to make this throw? Didn't EA say no more blind swats? But yet I've been seeing them in practice mode regularly. I don't see a change. And here you'll see a guy running a post route and a linebacker just chasing him down the field, and all he does is put his hand up and the ball is swatted out the air. He doesn't know where that ball is coming at. I mean, you have an idea that it's going to the receiver, but the timing of it is always too perfect. It's always swatted. It's never missed. Have you ever noticed that? The swats or attempted interceptions are never missed. That doesn't even happen in the NFL. And you can see from every angle that this should not have been a swatted pass, because the linebacker just doesn't have any vision of where the ball is, and they never do. They just put the hand up and it's automatic. It's going to be swatted. You don't see them reach up and miss.
Here we go.
Wait. Was that a downfield collision that they claim to have fixed as well? Yeah, looks like a collision to me. And again, this is one of those things that you saw in their advertised videos, but because they focused you away from it, a lot of the gamers didn't see it. Half of the things I'm bringing up to you right now, if you were to go back to look at some of their trailer videos or first look video, you will see the stuff is right there. So some of this isn't new to me. We already are used to them making promises that they don't keep. They just like to advertise and sell and market away from the issues that continue to exist. This is not a back shoulder throw. This is just a deep pass where the defensive back gets a boost to get out in front of the wide receiver to prevent him from scoring if he catches the ball. That's what it is. Watch the speed boost. See, all of a sudden, it's just a blink of an eye. He's from behind him forward. Now, that was slowed down. When you saw it fast, you could see he just went right in front of him. And I've seen this with defensive backs, linebackers, and defensive line, which I will get later on as well. Now the backlog. Here is a slower defensive tackle able to cover a faster quarterback horizontally. Now once they go vertical, it's not a problem, but here's the rating of each player. So you're going to tell me that a 72 speed defensive tackle has this agility and mobility to chase down an 83 speed quarterback? Backlog. Now let's look at that same defensive tackle chasing down a wide receiver that's 10 points faster than the quarterback he just chased down. Keep in mind, this wide receiver is already in motion and sprinting and going in the opposite direction. And yet this defensive tackle is able to chase him down and stop him. Keep in mind the speed of the defensive tackle and the wide receiver. And yet he's able to just simply chase him down like nothing. The speed ratings don't matter, and neither does this idea of physics-driven animations. It's not driven by that. I'm sorry, when I see stuff like this, I have to call it for what it is. More backlog. This is supposed to be physics-driven animation where a player is clipped from the back foot and he goes into like a baseball slide. Not physics-driven animation. I'm sorry. Backlog. You should know by now that the audible settings suck in this game, and that's the only way I can put it. Now here I'm going to choose the on-the-fly audible when you're in a play and you want to create an audible for a slot. And this slot is going to be empty. And I'm going to select the empty slot. And the slot should not be empty, by the way. And then I'm going to substitute a play. And I'm putting the original over top of this so that you can see it in the smaller window. When I choose this audible, look at where it goes. Remember, this is supposed to fill the blank slot. It doesn't. Backlog. This too is something I see way too often. as you'll look on the left side as the defensive end or outside linebacker, whatever his position, blows by your left tackle. The problem is your left tackle is an X Factor player. The other player is a regular player. And don't blame 73 on this play because I've seen it happen too often. I've seen it happen to my right guard, and I'm seeing it a lot with my left tackle, Tyrone Smith. Backlog. I do like the animation change they've made with the alert RPO. The quarterback comes out and he transitions better to a passer on the opposite side. So if he's rolling out to his right and the throw is going to be to the opposite side to the left, the animation is much better. What can he see with his back turned? I mean, you can't tell what's going on behind you, but yet he knows precisely when to start up and run to cover that wide receiver that he has his back turned to. Not only that, he's able to perform a Superman dive to swat the ball. Backlog. Look at the slot receiver's route and then watch him run his route. See, something went wrong here because he should have been way downfield. He's running this route as if it's a double move route, and it is not. So they've screwed up yet another route in this game. And that brings us to backlog. Depending on where the void is in the audible screen, you cannot even navigate there to try and fill it. So this issue continues yet again in Madden 24. Backlog. Here we have two X Factor players going up against one another. One is 99 rating. So why is it that a 99 rated right guard more often than not gets pushed over by this X Factor player? Backlog. The knockouts are not realistic to me. Some of the hits don't even truly knock the ball out. It's just like a tap on the back, and that's not realistic to me. So I'm going to have to add this. Backlog. Look at the outside receiver routes. The diagram looks like it is a curl route that turns out as opposed to in if you look at the very end of the route. Now we're going to look at the actual play and watch the receiver run the route. This diagram has been wrong since Madden 25. Backlog. For wide receiver screens, why do you have to wait so long to prevent your quarterback from doing this little jump throw? And I know how to get around it, and I'll demonstrate that following this with the same timing and all. But I should not have to do this. Backlog. That play happened with an offensive line with a right guard that is rated 99. Now, I know you can lose some plays, so to speak, but this is happening way too often. Does this look like a 99 rated right guard? For a 99 rating, why does he look so lost on the inside for so long and can never recover for the linebacker? And then he turns around and basically allows a sack. That's supposed to be a 99 rating. Offensive player. Backlog. Cover 2, man to man. Watch your cornerback's improved coverage. Backlog. Play art continues to be a problem with Madden 24. Throughout the library of plays, there are still many plays that have inconsistent play art to represent the play or motions. And in the case of the examples I'm showing here, you end up with scribble scrabble to represent the play. Backlog. The next issue is the mixture of spaghetti play formations in a play set. Here we have the dice slot play set with 3 formations open on the screen. Please take note of the 3 formations to the right. Doubles Y off close, doubles Y slot close, and doubles Z close. Please take note of the difference between the dice slot and the double Z close. That difference being that the Z receiver is moved in closer. So why did they put 3 Z close formations in a dice slot formation when you already have a doubles Z close formation to put them in? Now this would have made sense if the Z receiver was in motion, as the play art kind of implies, because of the dashed line from the receiver's position to another spot. A perfect example is gun doubles offset formation, and the play is spot double slant. The Z receiver is actually in motion to move in close. With this continuing to be a flaw in Madden 24 since Madden 25, I have no choice but to claim this a backlog. With the Nano Blitz protections now removed, that will mean scripting will be much easier for EA to apply. As I've demonstrated earlier, you don't even have to be an X Factor player. You can be a regular player going up against an X Factor player, and that Nano Blitz can get past them. Now here you're going to see 2 regular players, but one player, the right tackle here, is a pretty good right tackle. And the defense just basically walks right around him. For whatever reason, he decides to go in. What is that logic? I really don't know, because to be honest with you, if you look at it, it really just doesn't make sense. But he allows the defender to just simply run around him. So this is supposed to be the improvement that everybody was waiting for? I really don't think so. So the improved defensive line and improved offensive line, to me, is still backlog. So now we've reached the summarization of the 5-minute checks that I've done since the release of Madden 24. Now, I came across over 100 backlog issues, and I couldn't post them all because, as you can see, we're coming up on 30 minutes, and this is twice as long a video that I had intended to produce. In summary, way too many old issues persist, and I really don't see the improvements in the game. And for 30 plus years of development, I give EA Madden 24 a failing grade. This concludes this video. Please excuse any video and audio lapses that have occurred. Clearing off this 1 terabyte drive should solve that issue. My next video will deal with a major audible bug. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Also, please make sure you help to get the word out by sharing this video. No monetization is involved here. I'll check back with you later.